Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Nailed It Sports. My name is Caleb Nail. It's good to be back. It's July 3rd. Yes, typically we do these on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. But because tomorrow is July 4th, I may do one tomorrow. It's easier on my days off. But I didn't do one yesterday. So we got to make up for it today. And we have a lot to talk about. Got some takes to throw out there and some soccer teams to talk about, express my opinions. But first, I want to get the day started right. I want to share a verse with you. Hopefully helps you through your day. Luke 9, verses 23 through 24. This is Jesus talking. Then he said to them all, "Whoever wants to be my disciple must deny themselves and take up their cross daily and follow me. Whoever wants to save their life will lose it, but whoever loses their life for me will save it." This is your reminder and a reminder to myself that, if you want to serve Jesus and if you don't know what that looks like or what that means, feel free to ask me. Reach out to me on X, Caleb_Nail, N-A-L-E. But if we want to serve the Lord, which I am all about, I have to deny myself. It's not about me. Take up my cross, which some people say, there's burdens and things like that. Or take up the things that are the things that you're struggling with, right? The things that you need to lay down before his feet. You got to pick up your cross and follow Jesus. And that the biggest thing that sticks out to me, rather bigger than picking up our cross daily, is actually following Jesus. It's not, this is how I picture it. It's not holding someone's hand side by side or me holding Jesus's hand and pulling him along where I want to go. It's me submitting to Christ, holding his hand in front of, and he's in front of me, guiding me. So I've been in a time period where I've just been praying for guidance. I'm praying for a lot more guidance. Then he says, "For whoever wants to save their life will lose it." Right? I just fall into this all the time. I want to save my life. I want to make sure my career is right. I'm having a good time. I'm happy. He says, "You want to save your life, you'll lose it. But whoever loses their life for me will save it." And the last episode, you can go back and listen to it. I shared a verse and I mentioned there's a hard part about what following Jesus looks like. And he talks about caring for the needy. I think that's part of losing your life, caring for the needy. Right? The meaningfulness of your life when you are caring for the needy is so much more than when you are investing in material things for yourself. So I think when he talks about losing your life, it's really moving on from your selfish desires, my selfish desires, and caring about the people that really need help and love. And not a love is love type of love, but a love that comes from Jesus, and it's an honest, truthful love, and it's a caring love at the same time. So that's Luke 9, 23 through 24. "Whoever wants to be my disciple must deny themselves and take up their cross daily and follow me. For whoever wants to save their life will lose it, but whoever loses their life for me will save it." Lord, I pray we would live for you daily. All right, now the wonderful thing about living in the United States and having a job and things like that is we get to talk about sports and entertainment, and we're able to enjoy those things. I I have seen a lot lately. Don't worry, we're going to get to sports. I've seen a lot lately of you should get away from sports because it's the Roman Colosseum. They are putting it out there to distract us from what's actually going on. I think you could do both. We know what's going on. We're not dumb, and we can also enjoy sports. And I don't think it's a crime to enjoy sports. I think there's a lot of people, especially uh, in the Christian world and in the conservative world, that it almost feels like are vilifying sports. And I'm here to tell you that it's okay to enjoy sports. I also want to tell you that yes, and you should know what's going on. You could do both. Both can be true. We can enjoy sports and know what's going on in the real world. So I say all that because I don't want people to get caught up in and feel bad for watching sports. No one should. Today we got a packed show, so let's get to it. I want to start in the college football world first. Okay, so Central Valley, Fresno State, we understand what's going on in the Mountain West, and some big news coming out of Utah. That is Utah State. Head coach Anderson has been let go. And if you're on X, I thought it was very interesting. About 4 days ago, he put a picture of an atomic bomb going off, said there's some big news coming out soon. Well, then yesterday, there was another tweet. The tweet was that they had let him go. Did they put him on administrative leave? Either way, they conducted an investigation into some Title IX stuff. They didn't say anything. They weren't specific about anything. And I looked before the show. Nothing has been released right now as of 5 a.m. that I could find. They did an investigation, and they said that they found some pretty bad stuff, and he's out of here. We're done with him. So I don't know if we're ever going to get to know the atomic bomb that head coach Anderson wanted us to know. Utah State, if it was a player, if it was other news, I guess we'll never know. But it's sad because Coach Anderson seemed like a great guy, and I don't know what happened, so still could be. I mean, we saw what happened with Terrence Shannon and at Illinois, basketball player. I have no idea what happened with Coach Anderson, but I know that his wife had passed when he was at his previous coaching job. I forget what school it was. Was it Miami, Ohio? I can't remember exactly. But his wife had passed from, I believe, breast cancer. And I mean, that is awful. I wish that on no one, for the love of your life, to pass away. I mean, I'm selfish, and I always tell my wife, I hope I go before you because I don't know what I'm going to do without her. I don't know if I'll be able to drink water. She hands me water all the time. But he had a rough go. And then they won a Mountain West championship when he came to Utah State. They've struggled the past couple of years. And now this comes out, sounds like it sounds alleged. I don't know. I don't want to get in too much trouble. I don't think I will. But it sounds like something went on with a female. If it's Title IX stuff, no idea. But it's sad. I think, he seemed like a good guy. But here's the thing. Gentlemen, we cannot put ourselves in those situations. And in the sports world, it's extremely hard because you are surrounded by females that want to be in the sports world. Right? So we have to separate ourselves. I'm learning this just being in an office, right? From going from the farm to the office is extremely different. And there's a possibility that you could be around people that you shouldn't be around, especially if you're a married man. I don't know if Coach Anderson was a married man, um, but we can't put ourselves in those situations. Do the best you can to remove yourself. Don't close office doors. Um, don't be with people alone. I mean, of the opposite sex. That's what I'm taking away from this. It reaffirms what I do in the office, and I think it can help a lot of men out there, especially in the sports world when you're dealing with trainers, media people. I mean, most of those people are females. Don't put yourself in those situations. That's my hope for all men in all walks of life. That's really quick. Okay, now I want to talk basketball and quick NBA free agency stuff, then USA Soccer. Okay, Klay Thompson to the Mavs. So the Warriors, Splash Bros, done. Not happening anymore. So now we have Luka, Kyrie, and Klay Thompson as of right now. And the most interesting thing about this, and I appreciate this, was from Klay Thompson's dad. He said, "I'm disappointed that my son signed with the Mavericks. I wish he would have signed for the hometown Lakers." Sure, that is good, dad. That sounds like something my dad would say, and I really like my dad and respect my dad. It sounds like all the good men I know in my life. Yeah, I'm disappointed. One of those, and that sometimes hurts more. I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed. Disappointed my son did. He's not going to play for the Lakers, and he's going to play for the Mavs. But looking at it from Klay Thompson's perspective, totally get it. The Mavs have obviously one of the best chances in the West to play for a title. They played for a title last season, just a couple months ago. 1 month ago. So now they get him. And here's the thing. Speaking from the Mavs perspective, I like it to an extent, but there's a part of me that's worried. I like it because you bring in a leader, and we had talked about this actually a month ago on Nailed It Sports, that the Mavs, to take the next step, needed a leader. Well, Klay Thompson comes in. He's experienced. He's won championships before. I would say he's a leader. Leader by example. I don't know how much is said. He doesn't seem to talk too much on the floor, but you have Luka who talks way too much. I think Klay is going to be that guy who says, "Look, Luka, here's how we conduct ourselves, and this is not the way. The way you're doing it is not the way." Then I also believe that he can bring in that. So he's going to bring in that mentality, and 2, he's going to bring in the work ethic. Guys, here's what it takes to win championships. Luka, let's go to the gym. Let me teach you up. Let me coach you up. Let's lose some weight. And here's how we're going to play defense, because Klay can't play defense or had been able to in the past. So I think Klay is a great player and person to bring into the program that's going to coach up some boys and turn them into men. I really like that. Now, what I don't like is that I don't think this is the type of player the Mavs needed. I thought they shot the ball okay, good enough. I mean, Klay can do a lot more than just shoot, but I think they have those players. They have the Klay Thompsons. So this signing might be, where Klay's coming off the bench. This is what I'm seeing right now. Klay's coming off the bench, and really he's just a program guy who's helping build this program, and he'll get quite a few minutes still, but he's not going to get starter minutes. This is more coach him up, Klay. And, but I still think he's going to get 15 minutes a game. I don't think that's out of realm possibilities. The second signing, and one that I believe we're all curious about in the Central Valley, is, if you're listening to the Central Valley, thank you, Paul George. Paul George leaves the Clippers, goes to the 76ers, signs with Joel Embiid, leaves whatever was going on in LA. That experiment hasn't worked. No experiment has worked with Paul George, by the way, other than Pacers drafting him. And this is where I'm going to make my point and where I'm going to sit for a while is Paul George really hasn't been effective unless he was the guy. But I feel that like there's guys that are very effective, like James Harden and Russell Westbrook as the guy, but they can't really win. They're not going to go win championships as the guy. I think that you bring on a Paul George with those guys to where Paul George has to be the guy, and if it's not working, then we go to them. Right? Or Russell Westbrook is always handling the ball, just doing his thing, and then you have a Paul George or James Harden that can do their thing if need be. But if you put them together, we have a problem. It's not going to work. I thought the Paul George Kawhi thing would work because neither of them seem to be like the James Harden, Russell Westbrook demand the ball type where they have to score 40 a night. And so they could really share the ball, just let the game flow and be productive. But Paul George and Kawhi get injured a lot. And so that's one. And two, just didn't seem to work. And I think that's partly because of the other players that were on that team. But no excuse. You have two of the best players in the NBA. Needs to work. So Paul George leaves. I think now he can demand the ball as a guard, demand the ball, play his guard position. You're going to have Tyrese Maxey. I think Tyrese Maxey is confirmed to be there right now. Eric Gordon, Kelly Oubre, those are good guards and good pieces that you have to have when a Paul George is there that's going to demand the ball. And then, oh, by the way, you have Joel Embiid, who's top two center. Some people like him more than Jokic. I think it's pretty clear Jokic is number one center. But you have Joel Embiid, who, if the guards can't get going, Joel Embiid's going to score 20 no matter what. He's going to get his. So I think you let Paul George demand the ball, play his game, allow Paul George to be Paul George, and you have your surrounding pieces and a dominant big. The dominant big. I think they're going to need to sign some players in free agency. Some players that were on their team that are free agents right now: Kyle Lowry, Buddy Hield, which there's rumors of Buddy Hield going elsewhere. Cam Payne. I really like Cam Payne. I like that 1-2 punch of Cam Payne and Tyrese Maxey. Robert Covington, tough guy. Those are free agents that I think that they should look into signing. And those were players last year for the 76ers. I think this is a good signing for the 76ers with Paul George. I think it made them better. When I look at Paul George, you got out of California. That's big. You're saving some money. I don't know how much in Philadelphia, but I know you got to be saving some money. So it's good for Paul George. I just want to see Paul George be successful. As a former Fresno State alum myself, I cheer for these Fresno State guys. I want to see him win some trophies. I think this is his best opportunity yet. And then as I was sitting here getting ready to hit record, LeBron James signs a 2-year max deal worth $104 million with the Lakers. That was a given. Uh, I thought the funny part about all of this, we talked about Bronny and LeBron and being drafted and how, the I don't mind that he's drafted. I think the hardest part is being drafted to your dad's team. And they can say whatever they want about, LeBron having a say in it and things like that. I think Bronny is the one that we should worry about the most. And I think most people are, because I saw it as more as this is for LeBron rather than this is for Bronny. And I want it to be about Bronny. I don't want it to be about LeBron. And I want Bronny to be put in the best position possible. But anyways, there was a press conference. They spoke with Bronny and talked about how dad having influence on these things. And Bronny said, no, like, I'm not worried about it. I'm ready to just play, get in and work. I think, which is great. But then you see things like this where LeBron signs a max deal, 2 years in LA, which we knew because his son was there. We knew it was going to happen. I just don't want there to be this dodging of the questions where we know the truth. Like, don't be a politician. Just tell us the truth. We know. So what if you come out and say, yeah, if JJ Redick comes out and says, yeah, we picked Bronny because LeBron came to us and said, hey, I'd really like to play with my son. And we thought we got Connect in the first round. That's what we wanted. We thought we could take Bronny. Then, Bronny, that may not be good for Bronny. As I just said, I want the best for Bronny. So that may not be the best for Bronny. But at the same time, I don't want people lying or dodging questions. I don't want to go through this all over again because I feel like we've been going through this in the LeBron era for so long. No more politics, please. Can we just I guess the best thing is don't answer any of the questions. Let's just play basketball. I just want them to play basketball, and I want the best for Bronny. We'll see. The Lakers should be a fun watch. I still think the Lakers are going to be a fun watch with LeBron, Anthony Davis, Dalton Connect. I think it's going to be fun. Okay. Last but not least, I want to talk about USA Soccer. So the United States men's national team lost to Uruguay and ended up not making it out of group stage in Copa America. Panama made it out of group stage because we lost to Panama. So we got out with 3 points. And Panama just beat Bolivia, so they finished with more points than us, and we lost to Uruguay. So we talked about it. I'm going to go through it all, okay? Because you probably heard it, that people are really upset with Berhalter. I'll get to Berhalter in a second. But I think the main point that we all saw, and the main point I want to make is this. There is a lack of mental toughness surrounding United States soccer. And that may upset you if you're in the soccer world and you may not think that, but I would say you got to watch the games. Look at Timothy Weah and how he reacted. Got a red card because he lost his cool and hit a dude in the face, and it ultimately ended up losing us that game against Panama. Then we play Uruguay. Berhalter, it showed him saying 1-1, that meaning Bolivia scored and tied Panama. That means if we still draw with Uruguay, we're in. That's a mentality thing right there. Instead of playing for the win and being in the moment, playing for the win, coaching for the win, we're worried about another score. Mentality, mental toughness. And then there are a lot of things that went on where, I see our defense giving up on certain. I don't want to say giving up, but I'll put it as not. I guess you can't put it. They're not giving 100% effort all the time. It didn't look like it. It's a mentality. When the United States plays for draws, when we are being told by our head coach to play for draws, that's ridiculous. And I made the same point when we played against Panama. After we got a red card, we took the lead and we backed into defensive position and lost. We don't play for draws. You play to win the game. And if you want to grow the sport, what is one thing United States sports fans want to see? Wins. They don't care if you're a man down. They want to win. We don't care what's going on in other games. We want our team, especially our nation, to win. That's it. So if you do not have a mentality, a winning mentality, a championship mentality, it's time to move on. A lot of the pundits said it's time for a shakeup. Yeah, and I would say it was time for a shakeup a long time ago. If you're into soccer, you have heard of the drama that's gone on between the Berhalter family and the Reyna family, which that's Gio Reyna and his parents. Gio Reyna, I think we need a lot more from him, but he wasn't taken to the World Cup. I didn't like the squad that Berhalter chose for the World, not the World Cup. Was it the Gold Cup? I don't remember, but I didn't like the squad. I haven't liked the squads that he's put together. Yeah, it's time for a shakeup. It's time to move on from Berhalter. There's not a winning mentality in that locker room, on the field, on the sidelines where he's at. I watched videos of the training after the Panama game. Everyone was messing around. I don't know if that's when the media was allowed in and is, after practice. I want guys to have fun. I do. I want my teams to have fun. But after you just lost to Panama, and you're in you're in pretty much must-win situation because Bolivia, you don't want to rely on anyone. You don't want to rely on Bolivia, who's the lowest ranked team in South America. And this Panama team, I believe, made the Gold Cup final that we played against just a couple of years ago. You don't want to have to rely on. You're not going to be able to rely on Bolivia. You have to beat Uruguay. There's no messing around when we're practicing. None. We are focused. Non-U.S. men's national soccer team. There's a lot of messing around, and I don't blame the boys. That's coaching. That's coaching. It all stems from coaching. Now, we can talk about the refs and the past two games that the United States men's soccer team has played has been the worst refed soccer games I have ever seen. This last one, the worst one ever. And CONMEBOL, which is the South American region, this is their tournament. They brought in these refs. I believe they were Peruvian refs. They should fire them immediately. It was terrible. The worst refs I've ever seen. I'm trying to keep track. There were 3 or 4 fouls on Uruguay right from the gate. 3 or 4. One foul on Tyler Adams, which I don't even think he hit him. I think it should have been a foul on the other guy. Tyler Adams got stepped on. Yellow card, Tyler Adams. First foul for United States. Yellow card. And it happened again. I think there were 2 yellow cards for the United States. I believe half a dozen, maybe more fouls on Uruguay. No cards. 2 immediate yellow cards for the United States. Then one of those cards was not, the whistle wasn't blown. He pulls out his card. Uruguay keeps playing, and the guy says, oh yeah, and plays, and then he throws his hands up like he's playing advantage, and Uruguay goes and almost scores a goal. Thankfully, Tim Ream was paying attention and was quick enough to get there and clear the ball, and we don't have to debate whether the goal should have stood or not, because knowing them, they probably would have had the goal stand. It was a joke. This ref was absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible. But mentality, mental toughness. You can't let a ref or the umpire crew, whatever sport you're playing, you can't get them get into your head and affect the game in a certain way, or affect your game, I should say. He's going to affect the game in a certain way, but you can't let them affect your game. And to me, it looked like that ref affected their game. Now, I don't know if you guys saw the video. That ref didn't shake Christian Pulisic's hand after the game. Get that guy out of here. The game's over. You don't shake my hand, you're going to hear it. I'm going to pray before, and hopefully, I'm just going to pray I'm just going to pray I don't say anything too bad, because I'd be ticked. That guy that's not what men do. I don't care if Pulisic called you the worst ref ever and used 4-letter words. At the end of the game, you shake his hand. That's how I was raised. You're going to beat and I know a lot of you were raised the same way. I was raised on the basketball court. You beat the crap out of him on the basketball court. You knock him down. The second the whistle blows, you help him up. And second the horn goes and the game's over, you shake everyone's hand. And if they don't want to shake your hand, that's on them. You don't have to say anything, but you got to shake their hand. Because it means something when you look someone in the eyes and you firmly shake their hand. That ref, to me, is a boy, not a man. And good on Christian Pulisic for approaching him and wanting to shake his hand and putting his hand out there. I do like Christian Pulisic, okay? This is what I want to talk about now. I saw some things about what does the United States need to do? A lot of people say we need a striker. Sure, I mean, I'll take a striker, but I think Bauman is the guy. He can find the back of the net. He was this close the entire game the entire time he was in against Uruguay. He ended up getting hurt and had to come out. If he stays in that game is completely different, my opinion. So I think Balogun is the guy. It's behind the strikers right now. Now I think there's a conversation to be had about Pepe. I mean, he's been great for us off the bench in the past, but this tournament he couldn't find it. And at the same time, we didn't do the best job getting him the ball, but he's got to get in position and create opportunities for himself. The other thing is that, I'll talk about the midfield, is that we're not built for an attacking style of play. Tyler Adams and Weston McKennie, yeah, they're good with the ball at their feet, but they're more so control the game and play pretty good defense. They're tough. I like them. But if we want to score more goals, we got to find somebody that we could put on the ball and attack, push the ball. That's why I think Gio Reyna, though we had him out wide on the left side, he's got to do a lot more. I think this tournament is completely different with Sergio Dest coming out of the back. He playing right back. Scally took his place. Sergio Dest has that attacking mentality, and he's good with the ball at his feet, can get the ball into the box. That's what I like. Same with Anthony Robinson. I like Anthony Robinson because he's really fast. Where my issue comes up is our center backs. Tim Ream and I forget the other guy's name. It's not Robinson. I forget his name. But we struggled. They got to win headers. They were not winning headers. When we have set pieces, we gotta win set pieces in the air. We weren't doing that. And especially when we went a man down and Carter Vickers came in, that was bad. We ran a 5-man back line that couldn't do anything. And we got beat bad. We can't be doing that. And I thought Matt Turner was subpar, our goal. I mean, he got banged up. But if you're going to play, I expect you to play. And I don't know. I didn't think we got Matt Turner's best. And after Matt Turner, I don't know who there is. I mean, Horvath is waiting in the wing. But who's going to come and be the next Great Wall? I don't know. Matt Turner's going to have to step up. Now, I don't think that Berhalter does a great job preparing our boys, putting them in the best position to win. And I don't think he does a good job managing the game at all. The type of players I enjoy, and you may be different. I didn't grow up in the soccer world. I watch soccer, a lot of soccer. I talk to soccer people, but I didn't play soccer. But the type of player I enjoy are guys like Aronson. That dude's got a motor. He applies pressure all the time, and he's always trying to put the ball in the back of the net. That's what I like. He's going to make something happen, right? I like you watch Messi play, right? He is constantly putting pressure on defenses where he's moving. When he gets the ball at his feet, boom, 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 boom. He's applying a pressure to get the ball in the back of the net. That's his goal, right? And he's a midfielder, right? So I think we have I think Weston McKennie. When I'm looking at Weston McKennie, I like his style of play, and guys have different styles of play. But we need to put some pressure. You get the ball on your feet. Hey, my goal is to put the ball in the back of the net. We're going. And I am confident in my abilities that if you bring 3-4 guys, I'm going to find the open guy, or I'm confident in my skill to get to the net. And granted, Messi's the best in the world, so it's hard to compare. And I'm not comparing, but I just want that mindset on the team. And I want the mindset that Aronson has, that Balogun has. Balogun gets the ball, he shoots it. We're going boom, 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 and he's going to get better. Right? I want the mindset that Christian Pulisic has, that I'm the best, try and stop me. That's why I like Christian Pulisic. I saw tweets out there saying, Christian Pulisic, I'm sick of hearing Christian Pulisic is our savior, but Christian Pulisic is hands down the best player on the field. He is attacking. He has the mindset of, we got to get the ball in the back of the net. Problem is, and I think this is our biggest problem, is that he takes all of our set pieces. And he's good. But there's other players that I think would be good at kicking the ball from a set piece, getting it to some players, because rather than Christian Pulisic needs to have the ball at his feet. He's the guy that's finding the back of the net most of the time for us. He needs to be in there. Christian Pulisic is the best player by far. We need to have surrounding pieces that complement him. Or we need a coach that helps put players with a mindset like Christian Pulisic. Right? If Christian Pulisic is going to attack, Balogun's going to attack. If we have guys like Aronson with a motor, maybe we need to sit Tyler Adams and Weston McKennie down and say, and I shouldn't say Tyler Adams too much, because Tyler Adams, he's got a motor and that dude went hard. And I really like Tyler Adams. But the other players, like, hey, look, go. You get the ball, we're going. Get the ball to Christian and run. Get in a position where Christian will find you, or look for Christian Pulisic, because we missed him a lot. We missed him a lot. He made some runs and we missed him. So how do we solve this? Okay, it's got to be a mindset. And I at the beginning of this, I said it's the U.S. soccer system mindset. And here's why. And here's what I believe is the case. Okay, it's pay to play now in American sports. It's pay to play. I saw someone make this point the other day, and I think he has a valid point to this, is that you see this a lot more in the NBA now and football, so back in the day, it was before everybody saw all the money that was in sports. Sports was an outlet for kids that were in rough spots, right? Rough areas. And rightfully so. I think sports is the best thing that you could be a part of. It's a great outlet and it saves lives. And so those kids that were in those areas, one-parent homes, or they lived in, or they were poor and they lived in dangerous neighborhoods and things like that, poorer neighborhoods, those kids devoted their time and the community really helped them in the sports world. Well, now, so those guys and gals make it to the pros. They have kind of set the tone for how much money is in sports now. And now what has happened is you see, and this is just the facts, two-parent households, right? There's more money in two-parent households where they're investing in their kids now, right? So now you see more, I would say, wealthier families. Their kids now are getting into the pros over the kids that with single-parent households, because they can afford trainers. They can afford to send their kids to these academies, these private schools, and get the best training. Okay. Well, in the soccer world, what happened is in the soccer world, they are the third or fourth choice. Okay. So if we're going to invest money into our kids, we're investing money into football, basketball, baseball. That's where we're investing our money. And the money is not going to soccer. I think it has the past couple of years that has changed. People are investing in soccer. But here's the problem with soccer is that it has always been that way. It has always been, you have to invest in soccer, right? This pay to play model for trainers and things like that to improve your kid, and then you get in front of what academies and things like that and colleges, and then we have the soccer draft, the MLS, and you play from there, right? Well, it has always been that way. And we can't have that model. And the reason is, the reason is because the poorer kids who have been playing most of their life, been playing soccer most of their life, and throughout the high school level, they don't get seen. And nobody's watching college soccer, one, so we don't have we don't have the same pool of kids that we do in basketball and football and baseball. Because one, there's not as many kids playing. There's not as many soccer teams, men's soccer teams. So you're not going to have that big pool of kids to pick from. And then two, and then there's less recruiters to go out and recruit the country and find those good soccer players. And then three, you could say our training, we need to talk about maybe our training is not up to par with the rest of the world. I don't believe that's the case. But I will say this. Once, we're seeing it in the NBA game right now. Once once Europe and South America and Asia and things like that, once they invest into their sports, they become very good. Like we're seeing that where Jokic and Luka and Giannis, I mean, these are three of the top 5 players in the NBA. They're Europeans. And my question to you is this. Now, we could talk about training and money being invested, 2-parent households, 1-parent households, all these different things. But what is the difference between Europe and South America? Soccer, basketball, baseball, even like Puerto Rico and Japan and things like that. What's the difference for baseball? What's the difference for all these sports and the rest between the rest of the world and the United States? Mentality. It's mentality. We're tougher than you. We're going to fight through it. That's why, because they're not given a whole lot. They have to fight for everything. Where here in America, it's pay to play. You're on the team because you can afford it. And I should say, we should be taking advantage of that. We are the wealthiest country. Our citizens are wealthier than all other citizens. We should be taking advantage, if we want to compete at a high level, of the money and the training that we can afford and things like that, and the money we can invest in facilities. And it's not a bad thing. I hope I don't sound like it's a bad thing. It's a good thing. We should be investing. And this is why basketball and football are so successful, is because I see guys with money going into underprivileged communities and investing in the good players. Like, hey, I'm going to invest my time and money into you so that we can be successful, so that you can be successful at the college world, high school, college, pros, right? That's what they're doing. They're not doing that in the soccer world. There's not guys like me going into the soccer world, investing my time and money into poor communities and finding good soccer players. That's not. But in Europe, in South America, that's all they do. That's all they do. They go into the favelas and look for the best soccer players in Brazil and say, come to the academy. We'll actually pay you. That's how it works in the rest of the world. So there's an incentive to be good, because you get picked up by an academy, you actually get paid. And 2, you're just playing constantly. You got to fight for it. There's no guaranteed spot, because a kid was just born today who's coming for your spot. We don't have that mindset in the United States, in my opinion. When I think that can change. I think it is changing. It's just going to take some time. And we need somebody at the helm of the United States men's national soccer team, that has that mindset. That, hey, someone's coming for you. There's already someone waiting in the wing. You better fight for your position, because it's not guaranteed. I don't care how much money you have. I don't care how much money mommy and daddy have. I don't care how much you've played. I'm here to win. Hope that made sense. I think that's what's next for USA Soccer. They have to figure it out, because in 2 years, we host the World Cup. And right now, I can tell you there is very little excitement for United States men's soccer. No one in my office, and there's about 20 people, no one in my office knew that they were playing. So I took it upon myself to let everyone know, hey, you should watch. We have a good time. Let's have a watch party. But one guy watched the game. So he's my new best friend. But I don't blame anyone for not watching. I don't blame anyone, because it's trash is here. And I think I was supposed to check out the trash. All right. Well, I'll go do that. Thank you, guys. Tell me down below in the comments, what do you guys think about U.S. soccer? What do they need to do? Talk to me about NBA, Clay, Paul George, LeBron, Bronny. Comment down below what you guys think about all those things. Hit the subscribe. It's free. This is free. So the one thing I asked from you that you can do that is free, subscribe and comment. That's it. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. I will talk to you guys. I'm going to do a show tomorrow. I'm going to go for a run. It's my day off tomorrow. I'm going to go for a run. I'm saying all these things right now so that you can keep me accountable. Run, and we'll do another show. Thank you guys. You can follow me on XKale_Nail, Naile, and on YouTube, Nailed It Sports, NALED. Thank you guys. God bless once again. Encourage you to pick up your cross and follow Jesus today. We'll be praying for you guys. See ya.